The Volvo EX30 is a big deal. It's a small, relatively affordable electric crossover with wicked fast charging and even more wickedly fast acceleration. It rips on the good roads. It comes with a highlighter yellow paint option. It's got the reputation of a long-established Swedish brand behind it, complemented by Swedish flags on the inside. But the Volvo EX30 has a secret. It's not so Swedish anymore.
This is the 2025 Volvo EX30 twin motor performance, the cute, tiny EV that a lot of people ask me about. And I'm Alanis King. Let's go for a drive and stick around for the end of this video to get this EX30's full report card. The EX30 made its North American debut in New York City in 2023, and this debut was actually really special for me. Volvo emailed me an invite and I said, hey, I just unexpectedly got laid off, but I would happily come do a video for my new and unproven YouTube channel. And they said yes and brought me out, and it was really cool because it was my first sign that maybe this could work. There were a lot of eyes on the EX30's debut, especially from other EV owners. The EX30 is Volvo's first small electric SUV, and it's one of 4 all-electric Volvos currently on the American market. The other ones include the EX90, EX40, and C40 Recharge. And those numbers in their names correspond with how big they are relative to the Volvo lineup. 30 is small, 40 is bigger, and 90 is really, really big. In New York, we were told that the target starting price for the EX30 was $34,950 American dollars, which Volvo said was similar to gas-powered equivalents. But there was a big asterisk. That starting price was for a single-motor rear-wheel drive model, which Volvo said would probably have limited availability. Even still, to have this tiny, semi-affordable electric SUV was a big deal, and it put the Volvo EX30 in a market that has been dominated by mid-$30,000 Tesla Model 3 and Tesla Model Ys. And even my friends were reaching out to me and saying, hey, I'm looking at this EX30 as a replacement for my Model 3. What do you think? And I was like, well, I think it's pretty sick. The single-motor rear-wheel drive version of the Volvo EX30 makes about 270 horsepower, and the EPA estimates it at about 260 miles of range. But that vehicle is not currently available in America. You cannot even spec one on the Volvo website. Instead, we currently have one choice. This guy, the twin-motor all-wheel drive performance version. It starts in the mid-$40,000 range, and it has 422 horsepower and about 250 miles of range. That is not a lot of range, especially if you are driving really far, but it charges super fast, so that's great. We have learned a few things about the Volvo EX30 so far, like the fact that it is brand new, it is technology forward, it's cute, and it is relatively affordable. But do you know what else it is? Like a lot of other technology-forward, relatively affordable things that Americans like to buy, the Volvo EX30 is Chinese. Yes, Volvo is a traditionally Swedish manufacturer, but this entire car is from China. When you look at the window sticker, it says US and Canadian parts content, 0%. Major sources of foreign parts content, China, 100%. And the final assembly point on this car is Zhangjiakou, and that is in China. Volvo is currently owned by Chinese auto giant Geely, and it shares a platform with other Geely-backed vehicles like the Smart #1 and the Zeekr X. This is a really great car, and although it wears Swedish flags on the inside, it furthers a very obvious truth that Chinese cars and technology are really good, and they're relatively affordable for what they are. The Volvo EX30, like a lot of new cars, is a showcase of modern car technology. Not only do we have a backup camera, which is required in the US, but we also have a 360 camera and external monitoring systems. And a big thing is we have internal monitoring systems. Those systems and the technology behind them are absolutely fascinating. And our partner, Magna, taught us about them recently.
Magna let us ride in a car with its driver monitoring system inside, and basically the interior-facing camera in the system uses infrared technology to see you and see through your sunglasses. Infrared keeps the camera consistent in all types of lighting inside the vehicle, and in the eyes of the car, your sunglasses have completely clear lenses. The system is programmed to pick up on certain actions, behaviors, and mood indicators by the driver. It can detect your phone or things in your hand. It can tell if your eyes are looking at the road, the mirrors, the infotainment screen, or other parts of the car. It can also assess how sleepy you are using the Karolinska Sleepiness Scale, which is a method of evaluating drowsiness. All of that information allows the car to warn you if you need to take a break or put your eyes back on the road.
There are so many systems working in the background in your car to keep you safer, and Magna is one of the companies making those systems. We are so proud to partner with them and teach you all about their technology, and we hope you like learning about it as much as we do. This is the 2025 Volvo EX30 Twin Motor Performance Ultra, and its sticker starts at $46,600 American dollars. This moss yellow paint is no extra charge, which is awesome, and the only optional extra on this particular vehicle is a $500 climate package, which adds heated front seats and a heated steering wheel. After destination fees, the total price of this particular car is $48,395 American dollars. As tariffs ebb and flow in America, that could change, but that's what's on the sticker right now. We have now made it to my favorite part of any car review, which is how many Atlantises can fit in this Volvo EX30's trunk. But before I get in there, I should say I am holding the EX30's key. And like many other new car manufacturers and new EV manufacturers, Volvo has made this key into a box with no buttons and a hotel room key card that you use to lock the car. And I understand times change, you use your phone to unlock stuff, all of that. But what if I'm just old and I want a button and I want to lock the car myself? No, I can't. I have to go specifically to the driver's side and touch this on there. Give me a key, please. Let's get in the trunk. Now, I should say, we are cheating a little bit. There's a cargo cover in the EX30, and I took it out because I knew I wasn't gonna fit with a cargo cover in here. It's gonna be tight without it. Let's try. Oh. Honestly, no cargo cover. If I were to scoot all the way back, this is a solid 1 1/2 Atlantises back here. It's time to drive the 2025 Volvo EX30 Twin Motor Performance. But before we talk about driving, I want to talk a little bit about how this car looks and also the comfort and safety features in it. On the outside, it is very cute. I absolutely love the moss yellow paint color. And on the inside, the styling is very minimalist, but it's cool and the materials are cool. I wouldn't necessarily say the materials look luxurious. They just look different and it's cool enough to catch your eye. You also have things like the fact that there is 0 instrument cluster. All of my information is on one big center screen, and that really adds to the minimalist styling. But there's cute stuff in here, like the fact that the cup holder and the storage cubby inserts kind of match the exterior of the car. They're bright yellow and you can pull them out and you can clean them. And I think that's really handy because this literally is dirty right now. So if I want to just pull it out and spray it and not get the rest of the interior dirty, that's great. The interior of the EX30 is very comfortable and the vents are super big. It also just has these nice touches that make it look even more expensive than it is, like the fact that we have 0 frames or bezels on the rearview mirror and the side mirrors. And that is really, really nice. But there is some stuff that isn't super great about the interior and comfort and safety in this car. And the first is actually related to climate. It's the fact that this giant panoramic glass roof, I don't have a cover I have no way to get rid of the sunlight that is coming in from the roof, and it does attract a lot of heat up here. When I touch this, it is hot on my hand, and that heat comes down and radiates in. So when the car is parked or when you're just sitting in it driving, you will feel that heat from the sun. In addition to the very pretty panoramic glass roof that has its downsides, we have very pretty hidden speaker systems, which have their downsides. There is a cost to hiding the speaker systems in a car, and that cost is the sound doesn't sound super great in here. It's very front-loaded. It's not the most crisp thing in the world. It's not a very rewarding audio experience, and I think in modern cars and modern electric cars, a lot of people are looking for that really nice experience, and you don't get that from the audio in this car. Another thing that's not so great about the comfort in this car is that my knees are very close to the dashboard when I'm driving, and I'm in a normal seating position because the dashboard comes toward my knee and it comes to a point. If you're even slightly taller than me, I'm 5'8.5". I don't fit very well in the rear seats either. But if you're even slightly taller than me, I have maybe 2 inches of room right here for my knees. It's very cramped, and it also freaks you out a little bit, like, well, if I'm in a front end collision, the dashboard is right here. The last thing I want to talk about right now in terms of comfort and safety is safety related. In the United States, if you drive an electric car, because electric cars are silent, you are required to have a pedestrian warning sound. And automakers put that in these cars when they're going at low speeds, neighborhood speeds. That is so pedestrians can hear your car, because if it doesn't have a gas engine, they're not going to hear the gas engine. And usually those pedestrian warning sounds are very, very audible. You can hear them. In the EX30, I have spent a week looking for the pedestrian sounds when this car is in drive and it is going low speed. It is very, very hard to hear. You have to get extremely close to it. The condenser fans are louder than this, but then when you put it in reverse, it's 10 times louder. And what I really don't understand is why the sound that is used for reverse isn't just used for drive, because of the fact that you don't want to be driving this car in a very busy pedestrian area, and those pedestrians don't hear you. There's a reason it's a law, and there's a reason that it needs to be louder than it is, and it's just way too quiet on the EX30. Let's talk about driving the EX30, and I want to do this in categories. Let's start with highway driving and high-speed driving. When you are on a well-done road or even a not-so-great road, this car is very quiet. You do have road noise on something that's rough, like the road I'm on right now, but if you're on a good road, there's like no road noise at all. It is amazing, and there is light to moderate wind noise. It is very comfortable in here, and it is very quiet. But there are some issues with highway driving, like the fact that in this car, I cannot get cruise control to go above 80 miles an hour. And that is not an issue in most places in the United States, but Texas does have roads that are 85, and this cruise control will stop you from going there, at least as far as cruise control is concerned. You can put your foot on the pedal, but it's not going to cruise at that speed. Another thing I don't love so much about this infotainment display is the fact that the built-in Google Maps, which is lovely otherwise, does not show the speed limit. And Google Maps has that information, Apple Maps has that information, and it's actually really handy. If you just haven't seen a speed limit sign in a while, it's nice to glance at the screen and get a vague idea of what the speed limit is, but this screen does not have that. Another issue with this screen is the driver attention warnings on this screen are way too intense. I think driver attention warnings are wonderful, and driver monitoring systems are really, really good for keeping an eye on where your eyes are and if you're tired and if you're distracted. But the one in here is very, very sensitive, and it's too sensitive in my opinion. I drive a lot of cars with driver attention monitors, and they're great. This one pops up constantly and tells me I am distracted. And I think maybe part of that is the fact that my speed is on the screen. So when I need to see how fast I'm going, I am looking to the side. And the driver attention monitor notices that I am looking to the side. And maybe that is considered a distraction to this monitoring system. Because every time I look over there, it's like, hey, you're distracted, and I'm just trying to see my speed. Another thing about Pilot Assist is although it is very good for highway driving and it takes away a lot of the fatigue of those minute little inputs that you have to put in while highway driving, it does not look that far ahead of itself. So for example, when you have exit lanes or you have U-turn lanes on the highway, often the outside of those lanes will veer off to the side. So if you are letting Pilot Assist make the inputs even when you're holding the wheel, Pilot Assist will see, oh, the outside lane is curving. So obviously the highway is curving, so I need to go that way. When in reality, if Pilot Assist were looking forward enough, Pilot Assist would see that the outside lane will pick up again soon after this exit. Instead, Pilot Assist really tries to follow the exit or follow the turn lane. There were several times when Pilot Assist would follow an exit or follow a turn lane and I would have to go, oh, nope, wrong, and bring it back into the lane because it really thought that the lane was going that way when it wasn't. Now let's talk about driving the Volvo EX30 hard. And to drive the EX30 hard, you go into the vehicle settings screen and you turn on Performance All-Wheel Drive. And when you do that, this thing is such a ripper. I'm not even kidding. It is so much fun. The steering is so quick, even around town. The steering's super quick out here. When you stomp the accelerator pedal, especially in Performance All-Wheel Drive, it is so fast that you will feel the corners of your face, the skin just start to pull back ever so slightly, and you're like, whoa, that's wild. Now, if you take off Performance All-Wheel Drive, this car is still very fast, but there's a delay. When you hit the accelerator pedal, it'll wait before it really accelerates forward, and that's totally fine. That's what most people need, because you don't need to be accelerating like that all the time. Your tires won't last as long, and your charge won't last as long if you are doing that. This car handles very, very well in corners. And I do not exaggerate when I say that if you are a car enthusiast and you are looking for an electric vehicle and you want to rip in it, this is the kind of car that I would recommend if you like driving dynamics and you like quick steering, because it is really, really fun. We also have a nice brake pedal that doesn't have a really strong bite at the beginning. It is just a firm brake pedal with pretty even pressure. All of the driving dynamics in this car are very impressive. I like it a lot. It is fun to drive around town. It is fun to drive out on the good roads. It is a good, fun vehicle that a car enthusiast can appreciate. The last thing I want to talk about in terms of the EX30 driving experience is one of the most important parts, and that is charging. This vehicle does not have a big range. It's 250 on paper. It's really not that much in practice, especially when you are driving on a road trip. We took the EX30 on a road trip and we went 87 highway miles. And on those 87 miles, we went from 100% charge to a 61% charge. And that's a big chunk when you're going long distances like we went. We went 200 miles each way. That's a lot of stops for charging. But the good thing about the EX30 is that it charges very quickly. Yes, it loses battery, but when we stopped to charge it, we went from 28% to 70% in exactly 20 minutes. It was long enough to walk inside a gas station, go to the bathroom, get a little bit of food, and come back out. And we gained a massive amount of charge. So it made it to where you could take these little bites of charging along the way, and it would charge so fast that it felt very, very worth it to make a kind of slow stop at a gas station and basically fill it up. Doing a road trip in this car was very easy, and I honestly didn't expect it to be. We were getting 137 kilowatts at an Electrify America charger pretty much every time we stopped. That's a pretty common charging speed, and it was so easy. The charge was just zapping in, and it made it really relaxing and really rewarding to take this vehicle on a road trip. And it was equally rewarding to get home and plug it in on a normal wall outlet, 120 volts, and overnight, it'll get 15 to 20% charge on our normal outlet. That is so cool and so rewarding because it makes you realize that you don't have to get home and turn around and immediately go to a fast charger if you don't have a good charger at your house. You can just plug it into the same outlets you'll plug your phone into, and it will get a decent amount of charge overnight. That is so nice and so convenient, and I really enjoy the daily driving experience and even the road trip experience in this car because even though the range isn't great, the charging is made great because it is so quick and it is so easy. Overall, the Volvo EX30 has so much going for it. It is cute, it is stylish, it has technology, it absolutely rips, and it's fun. And you can use it in your daily life without being extremely stressed about charging or range or anything like that. And that to me is a win. Are there a few things that could really be fixed about this car? Yes. Are those things able to be overlooked? I honestly think so. Now that we've driven the 2025 Volvo EX30 twin motor performance, it's time to give it a grade. Welcome to Alanis's report card. The exterior on this car gets an A-. The color is beautiful and the car is adorable, but the styling is a little bit tame, so minor points off for that. The interior gets a B. When you first get in this car, the styling is really cool. The materials are really cool. But the longer you drive it, the more flaws you see. The stereo system is not great. The screen is full of pop-ups, and this thing beeps at you constantly. If you breathe, it beeps. If you blink, it beeps. If you exist, it beeps. And I'm so sick of the beeping. The performance on this car also gets an A-. It is super fast. The steering is quick. It handles so well. The only minus is the range is very short, but it charges quickly, so that makes up for it. The value on this car gets a B+. If this were a $35,000 Volvo EX30, this would probably be a different grade. But this is $48,000, and $48,000 puts it in competition with EVs that have a lot more range or that are really, really cool, like the Cadillac Optic with its amazing sound system. This is 48, that's 55. I'm leaning Optic on that. Would I take this on a road trip? Yes, I have, and yes, I would. Yeah, the range is short, but it charges so fast that you can plug it in, go in the gas station, bathroom, food, back out, and you are ready to go. It rocks. Overall, this car gets a B+. It's really cool and it's really fun. There are just a couple of glaring errors that could be fixed.
The Volvo EX30 is a lot of things. It's cute, it's affordable, it's technology-packed. It's a little overbearing with the safety reminders and pop-ups on the screen, but hey, overbearing isn't the worst thing anyone or anything can be. It means they care.
Perhaps most importantly, the Volvo EX30 is a palatable way for Americans to see what is going on in the rest of the world in terms of car styling, technology, and prices. The EX30's badges are familiar, helping us get familiar with what's underneath.